welcome to Championship Sunday here at the E-Premier League Finals 2022. Yesterday, all 20 Premier League teams competed and we've whittled them down to our final 8, our quarter-finalists who will kick things off today. My name is Rachel Stringer and alongside me, as always, I've got Kyle Walker, Tom Gebber and August Rosemeyer. Guys, this is going to be one hell of a day.
It is indeed. We're stood on the stage where our semi-finals and finals will take place later. All those 8 competitors that start the day will be whittled down, all of them hoping to get their hands on these trophies, but also on the £30,000 top prize. Tom, we've had some time to reflect on yesterday's event. There's plenty of FIFA 22 action. What was your highlight from yesterday?
I mean, my highlight has to be Norwich and Brentford. They played some absolutely sensational FIFA. It was a credit to watch both teams. And I think they're still undefeated right now. So it would be nice to see how they get on in the latter stages.
Well, Tom's going for Brentford and Norwich. Agra, I'm going to come to you now. Who's a dark horse possibly to lift the title?
I think looking at Crystal Palace, they have a very, very important game today and a crazy one against Liverpool. It could be the winner of that game who goes on and win it.
Right, well, what a day it was yesterday. Before we get into day 2, before we talk about all of our quarter-finalists, let's have a look at how day 1 of the E-Premier League Finals went down.
The 2022 E-Premier League Grand Finals kicked off with a bang. We wanted drama. What a goal. Tension.
I can't believe what I'm seeing.
And lots of goals.
Oh, what a finish.
And it was safe to say we weren't disappointed.
Wow.
For some teams, it was jubilation in going through.
No one expected this result.
How did he miss? Whereas for some, it's heartbreak in being sent home. They are on a roll.
Bring on the quarters.
Only the best remain. And it's all to play for going into today's knockout stages.
Well, yesterday was super exciting. If you guys did join us, I hope you enjoyed it as much as we loved being here for 10.5 hours. It was, in the end, it was quite a stint we had, but we're all refreshed, ready to go again today for Championship Sunday, as we love to call it. Well, let's have a little reminder then of how the groups looked after yesterday going into today. Remember, top 2 from each group have now progressed to today, which is the quarterfinals, of course. So Group A then progressing through nicely. Brentford and Chelsea. Brentford undefeated, of course. Group B, same goes for Liverpool, undefeated at the top of the table, and they are joined by Everton in the quarterfinals. Group C then, Leeds United and Crystal Palace safely through to the quarters, as well as in Group D, Norwich City and Aston Villa. Norwich City also undefeated, Kyle.
Yes, they were. What a day it was for some of those teams. And before we started the competition, I'm sure that we wouldn't have chosen some of those to be going through to Championship Sunday. But I guess, Aga, that's the beauty of this tournament. Anything can happen. And some of those teams, they really took the opportunity that they were presented with and they ran with it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the likes of Brentford and Norwich weren't exactly the teams we'd expect to go to the latter stage of the competition. But, I mean, they proved themselves yesterday and now it's time to prove themselves again.
And I guess individual performances is what we have to take into account. Sam Brewster from Brentford, 17 years of age, let's say his second LAN event, because his first one was in qualification for Brentford to make it here today. And he's been undefeated in all of his individual legs. And, you know, I know Nicole spoke to him a little bit earlier. We're going to hear from him later, but he's ready and raring to go. He's got a playlist ready. He's excited about how today's going to unfold. Tom, your thoughts on Sam?
I mean, he's playing with such confidence and freedom right now at the moment. And I think he mentioned before that he purely plays on Xbox, so it kind of plays into his hand as well. But he's been absolutely fantastic, played some beautiful FIFA, and if he can do it at the latter stages, then I'm sure he's going to be a very happy man. Definitely.
Right, let's have a look at our brackets then. This is how everything will look for today. Those quarter-finals starting Brentford, Aston Villa, then it's Liverpool, Crystal Palace, Leeds United, Everton and Norwich City taking on Chelsea. Then we'll move into our semi-finals. The winners from both of those first 2 quarterfinals, Brentford or Aston Villa, Liverpool or Crystal Palace will face each other, and then it's Leeds United or Everton, Norwich City or Chelsea will play each other in our next semi-finals. And then we move on to the grand final, and as we said, it'll be happening right behind us here. I guess that makes it more exciting. The pressure will be on all of these players. Today will really feel like a LAN event where everyone's going to be watching in the friends and family area, and the pressure is on. And when it gets to that grand final, Aga, they have to turn up. Otherwise, they're not winning. Simple as that.
Yeah, this is the time where we start to separate the best players from the second bests. I'm really looking forward to see how they respond to the circumstances now, because yesterday was kind of a warm up, right? Today is what it's all about.
I guess, Tom, as well, yesterday we saw teams playing at the same time. There was 4 teams or 4 pods going concurrently. This time it's one game at a time. So it really is 2 teams in the spotlight. That's surely going to add a bit more pressure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, teams that unfortunately didn't qualify will be watching, as well as, those that have are in the quarterfinals as well. So everyone's eyes are going to be on, that specific game. People might feel that added pressure, but like I said, this is where, you separate the best from the second best, because, regardless of pressure, you're still going to want to deal with it and perform to your best.
Right, well, yesterday, Aga, you were choosing some of the teams that you were putting into a power ranking, and we were having lots of conversations around it, because some of the ones that have made it through today didn't even make it at all into your power ranking. So let's have a quick look at how they are looking right now. This is Aga's power ranking, starting with number 4 just here. I mean, let's get into it. Aga, talk us through this. Your choice right here. Why Chelsea?
I think looking at the 2 players, they're very fun guys, making a lot of banter, but they're definitely a serious duo when it comes to FIFA. I mean, Stingray and Jay Sharp has a high reputation on this scene, and I think they're very hungry to prove themselves today. So that's why I picked them. They could have performed a bit better yesterday, which they also went out and said we didn't even play to our best. So I'm looking forward to see that today, and that's why they're on my number 4.
Well, they've gone down your power ranking. Yesterday they finished in 2nd, so you've put them on the sliding scale. They're about to fall off for Aga's power ranking. Crystal Palace in 3rd. They actually started your day 3rd yesterday as well, in terms of where you ranked them. I mean, yeah, they're super obviously competitive in terms of a team. Tom really likes his team. Ethan and Nick said, I wasn't going to go there. You laughed at me there. But they've been a force to be reckoned with, Aga, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, they had a bad start playing against Leeds, where they took the loss. But after that, the way they responded was big for me, and that's why I have them there as well. They're going up against Liverpool, and as I said, I feel like that's the match to watch out for, because one of those teams could go with the title. They're looking really strong as well, Palace.
Next up, who makes it to number 2?
Well, that's Leeds. They beat Crystal Palace, which is why I have them over Palace on the power ranking. And I just feel like the combination of Ololito and Mitch looks very strong. You have Ololito to score a lot of goals and get them off to a good start. Then you have Mitch, who's so comfortable at just keeping the leads. And it looks like a really dangerous combination.
Tom, I was going to say, do you think Tom can guess who Aga's put them?
Yeah, I was going to say.
I mean, this point
I
is not
wonder.
difficult.
What is it?
Surprise. I mean, overall, Liverpool speaks for themselves. Didn't drop a single point yesterday and are the obvious favourites. The thing I want to say about all the 4 teams, the way I picked the power ranking, is that these are the 4 clubs I can see winning. And that's why I picked them. Massive credits to the other 4 teams who made it through to the knockout today. But I just feel like these 4 teams have that extra that needed to go all the way.
I'm looking forward to when Norwich and Brentford, they get you later on in the corridors after seeing that they're still not in the power ranking. Right, let's hear from some of our players. Nicole Holiday, our reporter, she did a brilliant job yesterday. Well, she's already been working this morning, catching up with some of our quarter-finalists.
When I've been breaking through as a player, most of the competition has been online because of COVID and everything, and this is sort of the first line I've sort of got here to prove myself, and I'm doing it today, so yeah.
Do you feel like you and Kyle are the 2 to watch out for?
100%, I think it goes in our favour because we're underlooked as a team. A lot of top teams are here, and spotlight's not really on us, so we've got no pressure really.
Very excited. Slightly more nervous than yesterday. Yesterday I wasn't nervous at all. Today it's hitting me a bit more. Stomach went a bit when I came in the arena, but yeah, no, it's exciting. Obviously got Villa. They did really well yesterday, same as us. We'll just see what we can do.
Have you been doing a lot of prep then last night or this morning on this Villa side? Because they were a really big surprise yesterday.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, I think everyone was expecting Tottenham and Watford to get out of that group, and then them and Norwich went and kind of just battered them both. So, but I mean, I haven't done anything. I know how Impact's played. Funny enough, we played our 3 warm-up games against each other yesterday morning, because I don't think they were expecting us to get out of the group, and we weren't expecting them to get out of the group. So we kind of just played each other, and now, so I know pretty much how he plays. He's so good. In the box, he's so good. Like, you have defenders sliding all over the place, so you've got to hope for the best.
Well, I'm actually not sure if we thought Brentford would get out of the group, but they're firmly put themselves on the E-Premier League finals map, that is for sure. And that fixture is your first of many coming up today. It's your first quarter-final, of course. It is Aston Villa taking on Brentford. This is going to be a tasty affair for our first semi-finalists to be unveiled today. Come back and join us after this to find out who makes it through.
I don't get it.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh no, that's really hard to do actually from looking at that.
This is stressful.
This is really hard. It's surprising me how hard this is.
Okay, I'll bridge. I think it's C, but it might be a different name. I don't know.
No, to be honest, I think it's a flick up there.
Flick up?
That'd be a flick up.
That is flick up here. Is it? Yeah.
Okay, I read it wrong. My bad, my bad.
Still muscle memory. I have no idea what buttons I'm clicking.
Heel flick turn.
That's the heel chop left.
Fake pass drag back. Don't go with the last game.
It depends on where you're facing. I'm just going to go for either B or C. I'm thinking B. It's A. I've just got absolutely done, mate.
I thought that actually. I panicked. See, these are such random
I don't really think too much when I'm playing. I mean, I think about what I'm doing, but I don't think about my hand movement.
Oh,
I don't know that one.
I believe that's the... That...
I believe this is the 4-touch turn.
3-touch exit left.
That new 4-turn touch, isn't it?
It's a 3-touch exit left.
The 4-touch. I didn't look at that answer.
You see, because when you're reading it, it's so much different to when you're actually doing it. It's so weird.
It's harder than I thought.
No idea. I'm going to go running scoop turn, but I don't know.
I think it's fake Rabona, right?
We're going to go with the running scoop turn.
B?
I think that's the fake Rabona.
There we go.
I'm getting it now.
Yeah, I feel good again. Confidence is back.
Hold LBRB, flick, press right stick. Oh yeah, directional nutmeg.
Directional nutmeg.
Directional nutmeg, yeah.
For this one, it's the lateral heel to heel.
I don't think it's a lateral heel to heel, so that would leave B, drag back sombrero flick.
Drag back sombrero flick.
Sombrero flick.
Sombrero flick. Let's say B, drag back sombrero. Yeah, okay.
No, I was going to say B.
Finally go back.
I can't lie, that one was a bit of a guess, but we'll take it.
It's easy to do them on the pitch, but when I need to put a command with the name, I think it's much harder than I thought.
And none of them there are really obvious ones.
and welcome back to the E-Premier League Finals Championship Sunday. Our quarter-finals will be starting very, very soon, and this is where it all starts, that road to £30,000 plus all of our competitors. Well, the winners, they get their hands on a trophy each. Tom, what a day this is going to be. Let's talk about our first quarter-final matchup. We've mentioned Aston Villa. We saw from some of their players, and Sam Brewster from Brentford as well. Arguably, you could say, two teams that we thought might not make it to today.
Yeah, literally two teams that we thought, might find it difficult getting out of their groups, but they've been absolutely fantastic. First of all, credit to Brentford for getting here. We mentioned how much Peace loves Brentford, so, he's really feeling probably the pride running through him right now. And I think Brentford actually mentioned him on Twitter, so he's probably loving all of that right now. And alongside that, Villa are absolutely looking fantastic as well. Impacts and Kyle Rowley, they knew what they wanted to do, came through with a game plan, and they executed it. So it'll be interesting to see what their game plan is today in the latter stages and how they get on, if they're feeling nervous or, if they're excited for the occasion.
Yeah, the boys getting ready there, and as you can see, in only one of the pods behind of us. Of course, it's one game played at a time now. Agra, I'm going to bring you in and chat a bit more about Peace, obviously Sam Brewster's teammate. He just said an hour ago, tweeted out, please, anyone got any pro practice games? I mean, it's a bit late notice in the day, Peace, to try and be practicing just an hour before. Is that something you would have done, though, only an hour before you're coming out here to the finals?
Yeah, I think it's about preferences really. Obviously, you want to get some games in when the tournament really comes to this point, but you probably have to schedule it a bit better, I'll say. But I think he'll be ready regardless. When you sit there, on the other hand, you have to be ready now because it kicks off now.
We can see in the background there, Michael Fisher, Southampton representative. He's obviously going to be in Brentford's corner today, so he's switched his allegiances out of the tournament obviously yesterday. But how important is that, Aga, having another pro in your corner? We know how important it is to have the coach, but someone that's been here, someone that's experienced this tournament.
Yeah, it could have an impact really, because Michael Fisher would know, since he's been here yesterday, how it is to sit here at the pods playing. So it could make a difference, obviously, and you want to take all the advantages you can in order to success.
And let's talk about Villa then on your screen at the moment. Obviously, Oscar and Kyle. Kyle in the background, Tom, we've mentioned before, a former footballer himself, and it's proving that it pays off. If you really know the intricacies of the game, you can transfer those skills onto that virtual pitch. And I'm sure Kyle is teaching Oscar some of that if he wasn't a professional footballer himself back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, from the outside looking in, it's always going to be, easier to know what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right. Alongside that, Kyle's also been in that seat, so he's going to know what the situation is, and he's going to provide his tactical aspect in regards to, seeing the game from the real life perspective, and hopefully that helps them out.
Definitely. Now we are getting closer and closer to this matchup, the first one of the day. The pressure will be on these boys, won't it? Because you can see the hand towels, you can see that they're trying to keep them warm with the hand warmers. They don't want to get too sweaty though, but this is what they all dreamed of when they started the tournament yesterday. Every single team, all 20, they wanted to be in this position. Brentford and Aston Villa find themselves right here. Now it's go time, Aga.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep up with yesterday. Obviously, impacts and Brewster had a really, really good yesterday individual as well. So I think it's going to be a key matchup, this one.
Yeah, and guys, I've just got a question really about doing it as a team. What a nice story it is to do it with a teammate. What a journey you can go on together. Usually it's been known to be an individual sport here, the E-Premier League finals. It's 1v1. This was a new format this year. Tom, how special is it to know you've got someone in your corner and you can celebrate together the ups and the downs, really?
I think it's vital, and I don't think there's enough importance placed on it, because sometimes, when you're doing it by yourself, you can always have your coach there and stuff, and it can be a little bit difficult. But with a teammate, essentially, they're in the seat as well. They know the situation at hand, and I think it goes a long way because they know how to play the game and they understand, your frustrations, whereas sometimes a coach might not be able to provide that.
Right, well, we are close to getting things kicked off right now. We can see our casters are ready. It's good to see you guys. We didn't get to see you yesterday. Lisa Manley, Tyler Goff as well. Guys, I think we can throw it straight across to you to get Day 2, a.k.a. Championship Sunday here at the E-Premier League underway.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And of course, it is going to be an incredible matchup. The two of us weren't expecting Villa to go through either. We were, of course, covering Group D yesterday, and it was a crazy group. Everything then was decided between that game with Villa up against Norwich. They tied, both went through. Norwich were able to place first, but we also did have Brentford on our radar.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, we wasn't covering the Brentford game, but Group D we had, and I mean, everyone thought it was going to be Spurs and Watford. I had a little side thought that maybe Aston Villa would go through because I'm good friends with them both, but yeah, we definitely didn't expect it, and I'm looking forward to today.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting just because, of course, Kyle, he pretty much went into it saying, yeah, he doesn't really have any expectations to come through it, but then Impact, he said that, of course, being a little bit nervous, not really today at all. Same goes for Sam as well, though. And that's the thing. Sure, on a first day, you might not feel the jitters as much. Then heading into a quarterfinal, you never know, because of course this is really where we're going to separate teams, and it's two teams that we weren't expecting today. And still, what do you think? Is it going to be Brentford or Villa moving on?
Oh, you're getting me early, are you? Okay, so I am going to go with, I feel like in this game, an underdog as such. I think I'm going to go with Aston Villa.
I was actually going to go for Villa, but
okay.
I guess we just have to stick to that now and not have a rivalry here straight for the first quarterfinal. We're ready to head into our first quarterfinal of the day, leg one on the Xbox. And of course, Sam Brewster, one of those guys that is also a rookie when it comes down to the Premier League. And it's great to see how both line up and head into it. We've seen more or less the same lineups across the weekend already.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's better to have no expectation going into the game as well, because there's no pressure on you to perform. And a great start here from Brentford, and great defender there from Impact. I do think this is going to be a great game, because we mentioned yesterday, Impact basically not losing a game on his side of the bracket, and so he was looking strong yesterday. But today is definitely a different day, and anything can happen if you turn up on the day.
And that's the thing. Sure, you might have had a great day yesterday and surprised a couple of teams, but you have to bring that same amount of energy today, because of course, there's everything on the line. If you lose games and then your teammate on the PlayStation can't fix it, then you're out. It's not double elimination, it's single elim, and right now, already going forward is Impact with Sancho. Chance to get it towards the center as well if he wants to. Into Rashford, and first chance! Hits the woodwork, only against the post, but Brentford at least. Big breaths here for Sam.
Exactly, twisted and turning in the box there. We heard Sam beforehand in the interview speaking about him being good in the box, and we saw that there. And to be honest with you, in that position, should potentially be going in. He might be a little bit hard done by there, but great start from him there.
But I think into competition as well, when you're warming up against your opponent on one day and then having to play him in a quarterfinal the next, surely that is going to be an advantage. And it goes to show that they weren't expecting to actually be facing off against each other. And one thing as well that Villa were great at yesterday was making little mistakes. We've just seen one now from Impact, and that opens things up for Sam immediately. Cantona in the box is going to get blocked and out for our first corner here.
Great dead stop there into an Elastico, and great defending from Impact. That was something that he was good at yesterday, defending, and we got a chance here from a corner.
Yeah, just waiting for that pass towards the center. Firmino is going to be blocked. Ronaldo also joining in on defense. Impact has everybody back. And we've talked about the importance as well that Kyle could maybe also bring to that team, because he used to, or is a defender, and still right now could certainly bring his expertise to the FIFA pitch as well, and maybe give Impact a couple of points to go on how to actually structure his defense.
Yeah, normally the first part of a game, the players are trying to work out how each other plays. Maybe not in this case, because obviously they played like 3 times yesterday that they mentioned. But, I mean, it's going to be a little bit shaky the first 10 minutes because of nerves as well. But we've seen a few missed passes, but a great start from both teams.
Yeah, maybe a short pass in from Rashford right now. Plenty of skill moves in the box, as we were expecting from Impact today as well. He's going to get a corner for his troubles. And a lot of these, yes, we've seen short passes, crosses then coming in from Sancho, but right now it seems more like flat passes. Sometimes the double A or double X passes just to lob them over the defender. CR7 Ronaldo, though, and it will be St. Maximin to get that next shot off. Van der Sar saves it easy. Not the most dangerous shot early on.
Yeah, I feel like it looked like a bad offside trap that he did there, and a great double A pass, sorry, because they're on Xbox, and a terrible finish. I mean, in that position, if he would have got the right, I guess, kick on it, the great power on that, then he could have potentially have scored. But great start from Impact, obviously getting 2 early chances, which could potentially have been goals.
Either way, Brentford coming either way. Firmino already finding Ronaldo towards the inside. Cantona again. Didn't see him in too many games of Group D yesterday. Van der Sar getting outside of the pitch, but at least the defenders have everything shut down right now, and Impact can keep hold of that ball everything is fine and reset, and he's into a position where even his defenders have that structure back. If he loses the ball now, he shouldn't be punished immediately. That's always the big part in FIFA as well. If you're in a build-up and you lose the ball, you do get punished really, really quickly. Not sure what he was trying to get with that cross, but that could be nerves as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe a little bit of nerves coming into this, but like you mentioned, Cantona's very interesting player to be used, and we only see him once yesterday, and that was as a sub, and he actually did score. But normally we're seeing like the likes of Saint-Maximin, Ronaldo. Obviously, he could still potentially have Ronaldo, but I don't think Brentford are using Saint-Maximin, which is really interesting because he's such a vital player, especially yesterday. You know, we see a lot of people using him for his skills. He's even scoring goals as well, so he's an interesting player that to not actually have in your team. And
yeah, right now, either way, we're still waiting for that first goal to be scored here in the quarterfinals. We had something along the lines of 263 goals scored yesterday across all 4 groups. Of course, our group had, I think, the game with the most goals on aggregate as well, at 11-4, something along those lines. And that is just crazy. Sure, it was in one of those games that didn't really mean too much. It was all about group placement still. But if you're last in the group, you're not getting any prize money. If you're third or fourth, that was already £2,500 as well. And that makes a difference at the end of the day for a FIFA player, because you don't always have tournaments with prize money, even at $2,500.
yeah, exactly. I think even just being here for these players was enough. So to get a little bit of additional money for these players is a lot. You know, some of these players are only 16, 17 years of age, so that money will definitely help them.
Yeah, and especially considering how, of course, in FIFA, start of the season, if you don't have a club, that is money that you're investing yourself as well. And we've seen plenty of players come through this year, actually, with RTG teams, and just great to see that that still is working out. It's putting in the time, but a bigger chance here for Brentford now with that chip in towards the centre. Everything dealt with in defence thus far, though. None of the shots have been too crazy, apart from maybe Impact early on hitting the post.
Yeah, definitely no chances. I feel like I mentioned, it's just them trying to work out how each other play. I kind of expected a little lower faring in this game, maybe 0-0, maybe 1 goal to someone. I'm not really sure who it will go to at the moment, but Impact does seem to be making a lot of mistakes at the moment.
Yeah, and Cantona, decent run down the right-hand side, needs more support though, and that's why you're recycling possession again, passing it back, seeing you get more players towards the box. Saint-Maximin is going to lose the ball, gets it straight back! And the opening goal works out well, but off the back of a mistake of Impact's.
A massive, massive, massive mistake there. And it was quite fortunate for him to get it back. You mentioned in his interview earlier, Sam, that he loves to do the hill-to-hill, and we saw that there. Obviously, it did bounce off the defender, maybe Ruben Diaz there. We mentioned Saint-Maximin. There's a reason that he's in people's teams, and I mean, 97 pace, 90 shooting, 95 position, and he was definitely in the right position there, wasn't he?
Yeah, always a little bit of luck involved, but we have to just have those runs ready. You have to be there when it matters, and takes advantage there of basically the mistakes that we've seen. Maybe now Impact's a little bit more open. Another chance here for Sam to maybe get another goal in, but it probably won't happen. It will stay at 1-0 going into half-time. Or maybe he does get a final attack. Cristiano Ronaldo on with the keeper, but Van der Sar keeps it clear. A lot of times we see corners continuing here in the final minutes. We're already 2 minutes into injury time. How can he place it in the box? Doesn't really have too many players forward. There's only 2 players in the box, a couple outside still. But Ronaldo crossing in. Hullet would have been there, not as well placed. Saint-Maximin still going. It should be Brentford just to clear this one out. 3 minutes into 1 minute of injury time is a way to conclude our first half. And I think Sam can be fortunate to stick to that 1-0 lead, because he almost gave that up immediately.
Yeah, exactly. I do feel personally that Impact's had the better opportunities. I mean, he almost scored straight away as well, but I'm intrigued to see why he didn't put that across the box. Saint-Maximin was seeming to make a great run, but he did try go for the green time shot, and a great save from Van der Sar. We've seen him in literally every single person's team in the games that we've commentated so far.
I think it's like yesterday as well, we were talking about the fact that a lot of the times, sure, you can get a shot in from there, and especially with Ronaldo, if you get that green time finish, it is hammering in. That time it doesn't work out. That time, one final pass could have helped. In hindsight, it's always, of course, easier for us to see it here at the desk, but still, advantage played early on here in the second half. We're underway. No time spared. Aston Villa coming forward with Impact. Rudiger to actually stop it here, but Rashford gets it straight back for a second chance to pass it. Maybe to Saint-Maximin, and won't just work out yet. Van der Sar picks it up. Ruben Diaz to carry it forward. Good bit of pressure from Impact early on.
Yeah, I feel like he wants to try and get that goal back for his teammate. crucial being drawing in that for his teammate to actually go into. I mean, if you're drawing or you're winning, it's really helpful. You know, being 1-0 down's quite hard, but there's a big chance here.
Big shot from Ronaldo, and that's exactly what you have him in your roster. Keeper was out of position though, and that might have been down to Sam's mistake as well.
Yeah, it seems like both the goals that we're seeing today are literally from mistakes, and it's nerves, I think, to be honest with you. But what a finish that was. And there's also the Team of the Year version. One's got 5-star, 5-star, and the other one's got 5-star, 4-star. However, the sort of shooting stats on one and the pace, there's like extra additional stats on one of them that you would. Obviously wasn't in the correct position, but it was still a great finish.
Yeah, and I think Impact thoroughly deserved that as well. It is a game that is very neck and neck, trying to then just thread those passes through, and it is going to give a chance for Sam to maybe take it away. Did he just about get that off in time? Cantona now, plenty of defenders to beat, and does not have enough support forward. And Hullet is able to get that one clear. About an hour is in when it comes down to in-game time. Of course, we're playing 6 minutes a half, as we usually do in competitive FIFA. And the players didn't waste any time towards that halftime break. Around this time, in the next 10 in-game minutes, is the time when we start seeing pauses, when we start seeing changes in the rosters as well.
Yeah, normally between the 60th and 70th minute, we're seeing a little bit of pauses, whether they're going to go defensive, attacking. If they're losing by a couple of goals, then they'll change. Obviously, I feel like in this game, it's the first leg. You don't really want to be changing too much because you're not going to be out if you lose this game.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep it to a tie, decide it on the PlayStation later on. And who knows, we might need to go to extra time and penalties. What I heard, the penalty, whoever the kick taker is going to be decided by a coin flip. So it needs a little bit of luck, but of course, all these players are the best on their consoles to be able to qualify here. Cantona, good block there to defend for Vieira as well. And that was a player that Impact says may be his most important player back.
Yeah, I spoke to him just after his interview that he had earlier, and I said to him, in your opinion, who is your most crucial player in your team? Expected him to say the likes of Ronaldo and Hullet, but he actually came out with Vieira, and looking at his stats, you know, he's so strong, and that's the reason why these players have him, because he's so crucial. 93 strength, 96 aggression, 92 reactions. He can react to you doing a free ball, and as you saw there, he did it really well.
Yeah, still again, Ruben Diaz to lose that ball, and still this time, though, Villa able to recover. And Impact for now able to carry that ball a bit longer. Still 20 minutes. We've seen that pause queued for a couple of moments now. But interesting to see what kind of subs you go for. We've talked about the different items or different versions of items as well when it comes down to players, especially with that Ronaldo. We haven't really seen that for other players. There's not as much of a difference there. But yeah, just small difference that can make it happen. Ronaldo this time blocked by Rudiger once again. And he's been a staple in most defenses, stealing the ball in last instances across the day yesterday.
Yeah, it's interesting actually seeing Vieira on both teams, and they're in literally two different positions. One's in the centre mid for Brentford and the other's in centre back for Aston Villa. It's just the way you want to use these players, and I know previous years people have used that Vieira card at centre back, and he is really good at doing his job. As you saw, he literally cleared it on the line there for Aston Villa.
Yeah, decent cross, headers into Van der Sar's hands. We can see the passing accuracy there as well for the players. 28 more passes right now for Sam for Brentford. But we usually see, sure, a couple of jitters early on, a couple of mistakes there. But since then, especially into the second half, we've seen less and less mistakes. Players getting settled in, and that's what we like to see as well. Rashford coming forward right now for Impact, still needs to centre that ball. And the players not in the exact perfect positions just yet. We've talked about freezing players yesterday as well to kind of keep them in the ideal spots. And Impact is going to see a yellow card on his Hullet. Well deserved as well.
Yeah, I mean, I
great
thought
tackle.
Yeah, I thought that was like a tactical sort of slide. You might think, why? Well, I think they actually wanted the pause, so there was sort of like no really need to do that. And we're seeing the formations that they're currently using as well. Obviously, they're 4-1-2-1-2. It's a very great formation, narrow formation as well that we see a lot this weekend. We've seen that. We've seen a 4-4-2. We actually saw a three at the back with Norwich, didn't we, yesterday? So, yeah, it's interesting to see the different formations, and, you know, it's great to see these players at the moment drawing. I mean, could we see it maybe a late winner by one of these?
It wouldn't be the first time that we see late winners, especially yesterday. We had a couple in Group D. If we look back at Newcastle, who were literal underdogs and then came out to beat Tottenham in a last-ditch effort. But We'll have to see, and also just have a look at how players are going to be reacting to these situations as well. Usually laser focused. We had a couple of players yesterday that had a couple of problems just staying in focus. Big goal here for Brentford. And so very important to get that goal late in the game to set your teammate up on the PlayStation.
Yeah, we did mention, is there going to be a goal soon? I might be a mind reader or something. It was instant. We saw a goal straight after the pause, and I mean, what a finish. We see his reaction as well there, and I mean, looks like Van der Sar was in no man's land there as soon as that ball came in. Top bins, and with the 94 Ronaldo as well, we mentioned about there being two versions, and he seems to be the favourite out of the Team of the Year version because of his 5-star.
Either way now, of course, both teams trying to bring this maybe even just to a level conclusion. Ideally, you, of course, have the lead going forward. Impact seems a little bit more phased by this right now. Sam is just laid back in his chair, relaxing and just playing his own game, not really reacting to his opponent just yet. He's in the driver's seat right now and might be able to extend it with Cristiano Ronaldo. Left foot shots. And yet again, Van der Sar seemed beat before it came down. And yeah, that is one way as well to further extend your lead and make life a whole lot easier for your teammate on the PlayStation now.
Yeah, we can see how much it means to him, and I feel like maybe like Impact's kind of phase as such. I mean, we saw yesterday he literally won every single game, and now he's in a losing position, and it's the first time he's basically seen himself in there. And yeah, I feel like that was a great goal as well. Obviously, Sam's been playing really well. I feel like they both had equal chances, but Sam's just taken them really well.
Yeah, the big thing is just that Impact for him, yes, he was able to grab a bunch of wins. Most of them were 1-0s, though. It's not like he got huge margins. The big goals really started to happen when Kyle was in front of his PlayStation. So we'll have to see how they're going to be coming forward right now. Crosser shot coming in towards the center for Sam. Won't be happening right now, though, as we're into injury time already. Can Impact at least score one more just to bring the margin down to one goal? He's trying to go forward. It'll be tight to see what the in-game ref decides on, and this should be game for the first leg on the X-Spot. Brentford take it 3-1, and a great showing from Sam. Was able to take a 1-0 lead into the halftime break, and it's going to be interesting to see how the desk is going to be breaking this down. So let's hear it from Kyle.
Thank you, Tyler. Yes, great first leg just there. I mean, 3-1. Who expected that towards the end of the game? Let's break it down then before we get into leg number 2. 3-1, Sam. We saw what he could do yesterday, Tom, and actually another great performance from himself today.
Yeah, I mean, the first goal was all about margins, but he absolutely, he kind of warmed into it as he went along, and he absolutely looked fantastic towards the back end. That second goal was absolutely crazy, you know, being able to use that for Ronaldo with the 5-star weak foot. And again, it's those little margins that make all the difference, and you put the ball in the back of the net, and that's where the confidence grows, you know, it makes all the difference.
Okay, well, let's see the two winning goals, and we'll get Tom and Aga to cast their expert eye across these and just break them both down for us. Obviously, they came quite late into the second half. Tom, talk about the first one here.
It's just a really well-worked move, you know, he took his time, found that little bit of space, and again, like I mentioned, that foot item, Cristiano Ronaldo, that 5-star weak foot makes all the difference. It's those little margins. If that's maybe Team of the Year Ronaldo, perhaps it doesn't go in.
Aga, the decisive goal to make it 3.
Yeah, and what an important one. I mean, a one-goal lead is nice, but a 2-goal lead is very nice, and he'll be happy with that. I like the way he attacks. It's not a lot of fancy skill moves and stuff. It's just solid passing play and playing fast and direct. And yeah, he keeps on.
All he did, didn't he, at the end of the box, there was just switch feet in the end, just to give himself a little bit more space, and it proved decisive. But I was going to say, how mature is Sam as a player as well, waiting till the latter end of leg 1 to kind of really put the foot down and make those moves?
I think it's a good way of timing it, obviously, scoring the 2 goals. I think he was trying to create chances throughout the entire game. Both players were pretty offensive and optimistic in the way they attacked. And yeah, lucky for him, he got the goals in the end. So there wasn't enough time for Impacts to get one back.
Right, well, talking about Sam's play, let's listen from the man himself. He's joined by Nicole Holiday.
Yeah, I'm here with Sam. Okay. Big breath. Yeah. 3-1 up. How are you feeling?
I mean, yeah, that was a tough game. Like, first 70 minutes is a kind of cat and mouse on the edge of each other's box, just knocking it around. Managed to get 2 late goals. I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like it's a 3-1 game, but I'm very happy, and now just hope Zoe can do the job. I'm sure he can. He's playing really well as well.
I mean, those 2 late goals that you just mentioned, so important. You've got to be feeling quite good now. I mean, you've put Peace in quite a good position going into the second leg.
Yeah, but it's FIFA. 2 goals isn't much, especially like with what happened. So I'm very confident in him. And this is the nervous part now. Playing's fine. Like playing, I'm in my zone, but watching stresses me out. So we'll see.
Really? So you felt quite calm when you were sat there, but now your bit's done. This is where it's actually worse for you.
Watching's awful. It's awful. Yeah, all the Xbox players this weekend will tell you, like, playing first leg's great, but watching the second leg, especially when you need a result, and now it's knockouts. But yesterday in groups when people needed a result, it's awful. Even if like Peter's playing as well as he is, even then it's still nerve-wracking.
Okay, well, go take a seat, chill out. Good luck. Back to you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Nicole. Well, Aga, if Sam thinks it's nerve-wracking to sit now and watch, how is Oscar going to be feeling for Villa, knowing that they have got that, knowing that Brentford have got that 2-goal lead, of course, and he has to sit back now and just watch what Kyle can do and hopefully bring a couple of goals back?
Yeah, I think he will be quite nervous, but on the other hand, I think right now he'll be a bit disappointed because he played a pretty good match and his goal was very nice as well. So, you know, the gutted feeling for him can be a thing that kind of overshines the nerves because he felt like he dropped the game, but he'll be cheering, obviously.
Kyle, though, he'll be very confident, especially after yesterday's performance. What do you think he's going to have to do now to bring this one back and carry that momentum through?
I think he needs to attack. It's all about, you know, trying to score those goals and trying to, you know, get in the box and really work those angles. It's knockouts, and that's the most important thing that we need to realise. So he really needs to get on his game, maybe use some of that real-life football knowledge that he has and try and implement that into the game and potentially get a result.
Yeah, look at this, the partnership they have got going here. You know, we were having a look at their Twitter, weren't we? And Carl tweeted out and said some great words about Oscar, about impact there. And I think, Tom, great friendships are being built regardless of the outcome.
Yeah, I mean, as you go on and as you get into the latter stages, you know, you really do start to rely on your partner, and those key moments sort of bring you closer together. And that's what it's looking like right now.
Looking at those two just there, I think Kyle was just telling Oscar to come off his phone and giving him some words of encouragement. That shows just how confident Kyle must be. Aga, what do you think he's actually got to do to get back into this game, except for score 2 goals, obviously? What do you think he's actually got to do over the course of the 90 minutes?
Yeah, I think he's got to play with the same confidence as he did yesterday, where he didn't really give a lot of respect to his opponents. Obviously, he's down with 2, so he's got to play a bit aggressive, try to take control over the game, and if he gets an early goal, it will take some of the pressure off him, and maybe the game will be a bit more nervy, which could go into his advantage.
Well, let's see what happens with that. That second leg is coming up very, very shortly. Brentford taking on Aston Villa, currently 3-1 on aggregate, but there's still 90 in-game minutes to go. Don't go anywhere. That second leg is coming up very shortly.
Like you'll ever get paid to play video games, they said. Now you're players, creators, fans, all in one huge and growing community. We know that gaming's many faces can truly make a positive impact. We're there with you, whether you're making the next great game or just looking forward to playing it. Squad up, we're Barclays.
Well, welcome back then to the Premier League Finals 2022. Championship Sunday is already underway with our first quarter-final, of course. We've already played one leg. It's Brentford taking on Aston Villa. Brentford currently lead that one 3-1 over Villa. Sam Brewster with all 3 of those goals. We're now turning our attention to our second leg and seeing if Villa can get themselves back in this one. Super excited for this one, and our casters are standing by ready and raring to go with this second leg. Tyler and Lisa, how are you feeling ahead of this second leg?
I think we're excited to see, especially what Kyle can bring to the table. He was one of the goal scorers yesterday, and of course was able to bring things back in style against Tottenham.
Yeah, exactly. He came out raring to go against Tottenham and not getting around 4 or 5 goals in that game. So he's definitely the one that could potentially bring this back. Obviously, in the games that we saw, Oscar only scored around 1 to 2 goals anyway. So and obviously, Mr. Kyle was coming out with all the goals. So I'm sure there's a potential comeback, but it's going to be hard.
Yeah, he was able to beat Tom Lees 5-1 yesterday, but of course, that always ties down to Tom also saying he didn't really have the best event. Spurs, of course, didn't make it through, but Kyle certainly has the fight for it, to stay in this, to fight against his opponent, who, of course, also is a Premier League rookie. One of those guys that sure played the Brentford land, but apart from that, hasn't really had too much of a focus in competitive FIFA, and we'll have to see what he can bring to the table. I mean, first FIFA game is FIFA 06. He's 22 years of age, so starting off young, as I think most of us did. I think I started off with FIFA 5, so yeah.
Yeah, obviously Carl's also 25 years of age, so he's got a little bit of age on him, experience as well. Obviously, he is a professional footballer. He used to play in I think it was League 2, I think. He was definitely on FIFA, so at a decent level. Obviously now he's in non-league, so he still does play football. So I think that knowledge sort of coming into FIFA as well will help him, especially knowing when to press the ball, where to pass. He's obviously a defender in real life, so I feel like that's his strong point in this game as well. He didn't really concede too many goals in the tournament yesterday, so I feel like if he can get an early goal, there's a potential for him to come back, but he needs to not concede first, or it's going to be a huge ask for him, I feel.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the big thing. Score first, fight your way back. He was able to score 2-3 goals in many of the first halves yesterday as well. But of course, it's a different game now. Sure, he's played against top opponents as well within the group. But Brentford, they ended their group in first place. So certainly a good place to be. And of course, right now, not only has he been on a professional pitch as a footballer, and that helps with his FIFA skills, but also when it comes down to mindset. We've had our colleagues on the desk talk about it. Of course, yeah, talking to Oscar and just kind of bringing him back. And I think it was more of just calming him down, saying, okay, well, I can still get this back, so don't drop your head just yet.
Yeah, I know when I spoke to Carl yesterday, he said that he doesn't get nervous, and obviously Sam wasn't nervous yesterday, he said as well, and now he is. So I feel like now it's actually knockouts. I feel like they're going to be a little bit pressure, and now he obviously has to come back as well. So he definitely will feel a little bit of pressure, and maybe not nerves, because he feels that he's, I guess, good at the game and he's ready for today. So we'll see whether he can go all the way.
Yeah, we're ready to head into it. Second leg, Brentford up against Aston Villa. And of course, the aggregate scoreline right now is 3-1 for Brentford. And it'll be interesting to see what both players can yet again bring to their respective consoles. And into the game we go, with Kyle getting the first possession. And we'll have to see if he can actually go towards the goal immediately. He was quite slow to start yesterday to begin with, but then did find his way into it quite quickly. Mahrez down the right-hand side is going to lose the ball. And straight away, we're going to get a chance piece to come forward down the left-hand side with Hullets. Great pass into St. Maximin, can maybe even centre it towards Cristiano Ronaldo, takes the shots and hits the back post. Only for Kyle to probably take a deep breath to continue on forward.
What an opportunity that was there to start off with. Would have probably definitely sealed this tie, to be honest with you, this early on. And St. Maximin in that position, great finesse shot. I mean, it should have probably have gone into the back of the net, to be honest with you. He's got very good shooting. You know, he's got 99 shot power as well. Maybe that's the reason why he hit the crossbar at that power. And I mean, massive opportunity. I'm sure Kyle will be dripping sweat after that one.
Yeah, right now it's just all about staying in the game, staying in focus. You can see both players being quite close to their monitors as well. Being laser focused into the game. Down the left-hand side they go, though. Yet again, Sancho getting so much space down that left-hand side. This time doesn't have the immediate support, but Cristiano Ronaldo with that roulette scores to open things up early once more, and that might even be enough to prematurely seal this game. It's still a long game that we have ahead of us, But I just love the fact PC stayed so cool after scoring that goal.
Yeah, calm and collected that was. I mean, what a finish. You guys at home might not understand, but that was an amazing, combination there. Ball roll scoop into a roulette and fires it into the back of the net with that Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, that's the reason why people are using that five-star Ronaldo. He's just an immense player in the game.
Yeah, it will be a huge task now for Kyle coming the other way. Of course, his build-up into midfield has to be important. It's just, you are not allowed to rush it. You're not allowed to just give those passes away and give possession straight away to Peace yet again down the left-hand side. A little bit more contested down that side, but will also get a first corner here early on. Of course, scoring that first goal within the first 10 minutes certainly gives any flutters that you might have straight out the window. Super just laid back and relaxed. It's a 3-goal delta between both teams now. And that is a massive advantage that they already brought over from the Xbox as well. Build up once again. Hullet into Cristiano Ronaldo. Down the left-hand side of Sancho. Needs to center that ball back and might even need to pass it back to Hullet just to recycle at the edge of the box. Pull players from Villa back because it seems like he has 8 players back just right on the ball, defending, trying to stop Peace from getting another goal in. Hope there to get that pass through, but that was never getting to your man.
Peace just seems so calm, on the ball. He's doing McGeady cancels, he's doing all these skill moves in and around the box, and that's someone that is confident in himself, and so he should be with how he performed yesterday and getting out the group that he did. It's such a hard group that he got out of, and it just shows how good these players are.
So yeah, yet again, Kyle on his build-up, similar to Impact's earlier. A lot of these early passes being given away, and because, of course, he is quite aggressive in his own setup, he has to be running back, chasing the ball here, and at least he had a defender towards the centre, so St. Maximin can't exactly just score a free goal there. Otherwise, that would have probably finished it towards the end. Sancho, though, coming the other way, he needs to score one, ideally within the next 5 or 10 in-game minutes, to maybe even make it 2-1 towards that halftime break. And then the second half is all open to play for, but Peace just granted too much space. And I think Kyle, to be honest, might just need to pull a break right now to reconsider how his defense is set up. It might even be too late, and you might have to start thinking about going more aggressive, but that yet again opens you up in behind.
Yeah, definitely a great 1-2 play there, and Ronaldo in that position is always going to put it in the back of the net. Van der Sar nowhere near it, but as you mentioned, he needs to change something here. I think he's too open in the back. That's going to happen when, I guess, your teammate can't pull through a win or even a draw to be able to let you play the way you want to play. We saw it yesterday with Get Rid Kid. His teammate was 4 goals down and he wasn't able to, I guess, play the way he wanted to play. He had to go constant pressure. Obviously, Carl ain't at that stage yet, but to be honest with you, by half-time, he might have to be there because he's got to score 4 goals to at least draw this game.
Yeah, and then still you have to fix it through extra time, have to maybe even just get it towards penalties. We didn't see too many creative penalties yesterday. Most of them were just banged straight down the centre. Right now, though, Sancho, decent amount of space here within the box. He's able to score as well. And this is the crucial timing that we were talking about. Get that goal in within 30 minutes. And ideally, you do score at least one more before that halftime whistle blows. Bring it back to a level game in your own leg. And then, of course, work on that in the second half. Maybe go on a little bit of constant pressure whilst your opponent isn't expecting it just yet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was a great goal there. Twist and turning with Sancho, 5-star. That's the reason why that version of the card is in the game. And we actually have an opportunity here with Ronaldo, and great
yes, he gets a second chance! And stole away by Kante. Kyle can't believe it. You can see his reaction and impact in the background as well. And almost gifted there, but of course the defenders came back to help out. And now it's all about just saving it one more time. 10 minutes remaining in this first half.
I mean, that was a massive opportunity there. To be honest with you, I feel like we both didn't actually expect that to sort of get there, and neither did Carl, and that's why he didn't end up reacting to it. But massive opportunity, and we were talking about a goal that he scored, 5-star. Sancho, pretty sure this could be offside. It is. That's the reason why they use that version of Sancho, because he's actually 5-star. Normally he's not 5-star weak foot, and that's crucial. Twisting and turning, you can be unpredictable whether you go left, whether you go right. I feel like he potentially should have shot it earlier, and there's a chance across the box.
Ronaldo laid it back, tried to lay it back towards St. Maximin. Doesn't work this time. Hullet can clear things out. And counter-attack certainly on right now. Sancho 1-on-1 with the keeper, just has to beat it now. Great movement to bring Van der Sar out to meet Sancho at the edge of the box. And that just about working out for Brentford. Otherwise, it would have been great for Kyle to set this one up.
Wow, I think I can't even speak. I mean, what an opportunity that was there. And I mean, could he have chipped the keeper? Potentially in these situations, pressure situations, sometimes you don't think of that. Potentially a ball roll was obviously the chance that he could have done, but it's a great save from Van der Sar. In that position, the keeper was always potentially going to save that, and he went down well and obviously saved it.
And I think a ball roll was almost out of the question because the chasing defenders were already there. We're already there to stop him on both sides. And right now, the minute is done of injury time. It will be 2-1 into the halftime break. Of course, that still puts a great bit of pressure on to Kyle for that second half, as right now the aggregate scoreline says 5-2. And that is still, for 45 minutes in game, that's 6 minutes of real time to score 3 goals just to be level.
Yeah, it's quite a mountain to climb, to be honest with you. And I mean, I feel like Kyle could have probably actually had maybe 2 extra goals, or at least 1 coming into half-time, which wouldn't have been so much to sort of try and get. But I think he's playing well. I think they're both playing well, to be honest with you. You know, we saw Jadon Sancho for Kyle's goal, and I mean, twisting and turning, I feel like he could have shot earlier. It still went in the back of the net. We're seeing a lot of Sancho's being played this weekend. He's just such a great item to be added into the game, and I mean, it's going to be a mountain to climb. Maybe we'll see a pause at the 60th minute for him to go constant pressure, free at the back, just send everything forward, because if you lose this game, you're out.
The thing is, you could even start it straight in towards the second half for about 10 minutes or so, then swap back, just to see what the constant pressure can maybe even surprise Peace on the other side. But right now, St. Maximin already coming forward. Plenty of players trying to pressure him off the ball. It works out well for Brentford right now to take it the other way straight away as well. Decent amount of space here for Sancho. Can he get it towards the centre? In towards Cristiano Ronaldo. Not right now. Decent bit of defending. We've talked about that. That's the strength for Kyle, even though he had problems early in this game conceding 2 goals right away.
Yeah, he's definitely played better since he's conceded. I feel like he's started to get it together. Maybe the nerves got to him a little bit, but in this game, I feel like he's maybe going to have to change something really early, like you mentioned, constant pressure. The problem is with constant pressure, you know, your players run out so quickly and there's a chance that you can concede from it, but he's got to send it forward.
Yeah, everything's on the line here for the quarterfinals. Of course, we're in the second leg right now of quarterfinal number 1. We've got 3 more coming, and Ronaldo to bring things back to at least a level second leg. Still, of course, a 2-goal lead in favour of Brentford, and that would still put them as the first semi-final contender for the finals of the E-Premier League. Of course, it's Championship Sunday. All games to be played to make it to that grand final. Got a bunch of FIFA throughout the day, especially if you're that early game. Starting off right at 11, the semi-finals aren't until 5:45 or so.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what a goal that was, by the way. I mean, most people in that position would only just click the X button for a normal pass, but he decided to do the double X pass, which basically chips the ball, and that's what sort of lifted it, I guess, away from the defender, and Ronaldo was able to pull it in from that tight corner.
Yeah, still Brentford coming the other way. Good block here from Kyle. And I was actually expecting that to be out for a corner. Everything working out there. Virtual hour now done into this game on the PlayStation. Of course, losing that first game by 2 goals isn't exactly what you were hoping for heading into the game, but that's the team aspect as well for this year's E-Premier League, and I love that at least you're not, well, maybe even poised to play against your teammates in the grand final when you play PlayStation first, then the Xbox, and then meet for a cross-console final, but actually we will have 1 club as E-Premier League champions, and both players will get trophies to get home as well. Just love that as well, because I think especially when you have club competition in a league, you need to have 2 players representing, to have a little bit of a, well, teammates support happening as well.
Yeah, I feel like it brings in the sort of aspect of, you know, doing it you're not just doing it for yourself, are you? You're doing it for your club, you're doing it for your teammate. And I know I see reactions yesterday where certain players, they just felt so upset, not the fact that they let themselves down, but that they let their teammates down. There's a potential chance here.
Yeah, Ronaldo in the box already. He's already being pressured down, and there's not as much support forward for Kyle just yet. He should also be cueing a pause pretty soon, just to have that ready in case the ball does go into touch. Of course, that's exactly the time frame now where you do want to make changes, where you do Want something new to your game. Turn on constant pressure if you can. The offside trap kind of worked out for Kyle. Isn't able to center that ball back, and we will see that break that we were waiting for now.
Yeah, we see the pause. Obviously, he's going to want to change something. He's only got around 22 in-game minutes to get 2 goals to even see this go into extra time, and it's definitely doable. We saw him score like 3 goals in about 20 minutes yesterday against Tom, so if he can change something up and do it correctly, maybe 3 at the back, potentially just maybe the formation he's playing and maybe go constant pressure, get players in behind to try and get this opportunity, because if he can get a goal within, I'd say before the 75th, 80th minute in the game, he could potentially come back.
Yeah, and maybe even come back to a point where he could be able to win it. Late into the game, we had a couple of last-second goals around the groups as well that decided final standings. Right now, though, St. Maximin to lose the ball. I think it is still jitters for Kyle. He said that it doesn't really get to him, but I'd say that as well, no matter how I'm feeling on stage.
It's definitely going to be different sitting on the stage, knowing that if you can't score 2 goals, you're going to be out of the competition, because for these players it means so much. Even just getting to today, they want to be able to get to the next round.
Yeah, another chance here for Peace to maybe even further escalate this, and it's perfectly played, and that's what happens when Kyle is a lot more aggressive in his own game. Then of course you open up in behind. Peace is able to take full advantage for that for Brentford, and this should probably be it then for this quarterfinal. That should be the final nail. And Kyle, of course, not happy with it, not happy with the way that he conceded that goal, but it was nicely played. Brentford had 4 players in the penalty box, and it all worked out fine.
Yeah, I think that was against a modern player, in my opinion, obviously. It was a great goal, obviously. You talk about the extra pass, he did that so well there. You mentioned he had 4 players in the box. It's because, obviously, Kyle was sending everyone forward, and he was attacking, and there was too many players in the box, and he could have gone anywhere. So that extra pass, he did it so nice and finished it great there with Sancho, obviously 5-star, pinging that in the back of the net. But yeah, I think this game is potentially over, to be honest with you. I don't think he's going to be able to get back here.
Yeah, there's still 50 minutes in the game right now. We'll probably see a little bit of injury time as well. We can see at least the passing stats. We haven't seen as many passes here as we did earlier, but the accuracy is still there. That's what we expect from pro FIFA players as well. He did just miss one, but that's fine. Would have been offside anyways, and right now, the time is really on. He needs to score right now, and then I just don't think that if he scores now, he's even going to see the ball again. Because I think right now, at this stage of the game, if you're Brentford, if you're Peace, just hold on to the ball. Say, okay, well, I could score more, but let's just make sure that there's no chance that Kyle is getting back into this game. And with 10 minutes, it's very unlikely now.
Yeah, for me, the chance here, though, on the edge of the box. He gets into the box with Firmino, and what a save that was. He gets it back again across the box for Ronaldo, and
Rudiger this time to save it and hold it to clear. So good on defending, and of course he had everybody behind the ball just to try and defend, and Kyle just cannot catch a break here.
That is the reason why you have that version of Ronaldo. A chance here for Sancho, and he shoots. No, my word, I don't know how he's missed that. And we was talking about the chance just a minute ago that he had. And, you know, we see Firmino coming on actually as a super sub a lot for these guys. He's good defensively, he's good going forward. He's been played quite a lot in the centre mid, and an opportunity there. I mean, he could have scored 2 goals already.
Yeah, and still he might just concede one now. Hullet going towards the goal. Defender not quite covering off too well just yet. Now he's on him. Still retaining possession here, though. Maximin loses the ball, but yeah, we're back down into the final 3 minutes of this game. Of course, in-game time, in regular time, that might be enough to somehow get this one back in an individual game, but not when the aggregate scoreline is 3-6. And yeah, it's unfortunate the two of us both predicted Villa to be the one to maybe move on to the semi-final. They did have plenty of mistakes early on, which cost them not getting that early advantage. Kyle still trying to score now. And yeah, still having difficulties with it. I can understand the frustration, but it's all done and dusted. Brentford are your first semi-final contenders.
I mean, what a way for them to go through. They played really well both legs. It's crazy to think how impactful the Xbox side is. If you can give your teammate that lead, it really does help. I think every single game that we commentated on yesterday, if you won the Xbox side of things, you basically won.
Yeah. Exactly, and that's why that is going to be continuing to be so very important. As far as I know, we're heading back to the desk, so take it away.
Well, there you have it. We have our first semi-finalist then in the form of Brentford and Sam and Peace. I mean, what a day for those guys. Commiserations, of course, to Aston Villa. It's so gutting for them, especially when they had obviously high expectations coming into this. Day one didn't quite go their way, but Kyle, Tom, had a good stab at trying to get back into that, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he played to the best of his abilities. He did what he could do, obviously, but then Peace at the same time knew his game plan, set out this game plan, and to be fair, he still attacked and still, you know, moved the ball forward. It was nice, and there's only a 1-goal margin in it, so credit to Carl for trying to bring it back.
Now, obviously, Peace did have a nice start, let's just say, after Sam Brewster managed to get that 3-1 win. But the pressure still would have been on him in that second leg, knowing just how good Kyle Rowley is. So what did you make of Peace's performance, Saga?
Well, I think he did great. In general, Brentford was really strong. And I think the difference between the two teams were converting their chances. I feel like Aston Villa created the chances to equal the game. But at the end of the day, Brentford were much more efficient inside the box and took the right decisions to score the goals, and eventually they went through to the semi-finals, deservedly so.
Yeah, in their first outing, of course, Brentford making their first Premier League finals debut. They've made it through to the semi-finals, and Nicole is talking to Peace right now.
Yes, Peace. Oh, take a deep breath. How are you? That was quite a nervy second leg, at least for us watching.
Yeah, definitely. It was really difficult. Obviously, Sam did really well, giving me a 2-goal lead. And I started really well as well. I got 2 goals myself, and then it started to sink in that, okay, we're almost semi-final stage, and then I started getting a bit nervous. Had to hold on a bit. Obviously, Carl's an amazing player as well, and obviously he arrived. But obviously managed to see the job through, and then obviously nicked it as well, which is a nice feeling for confidence going forwards.
So, I mean, Sam, like you said, set you up quite well in that first leg. Did you feel quite a bit of pressure then, like it was all on you?
Yeah, definitely. I didn't want to let him down. You know, he deserves to be in that semi-final. He's been amazing. I don't want to let the club down either, and obviously don't let myself down. But obviously I was thinking about, okay, I've got a lead to protect now or get more. So it was difficult, but like I said, it's a new experience, and just take take each lesson as it comes.
And you got that early goal. Did you then start to feel, I think you just said you felt a bit more nervous after that?
Honestly, I mean, I hit the post and then I scored 2 goals and I was thinking, okay, we're there. And then I'm like, oh my God, I've got like so many goals lead. Then it's like, do I keep attacking? Do I defend? You know, your mind starts, and then that's when I think I started to panic and get nervous. But I said, just obviously it's a new learning curve, so I just got to learn from it. And obviously the more you're in that situations, you know what to do next time.
And your opponents, I mean, they've done pretty well. Underdogs as well. Kyle was really trying to make a really good comeback there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's an amazing player, and you know, it's the same when anyone else can go through. Obviously, both being underdogs and stuff, and I like him. He's a nice guy. So it was, obviously he arrived and he showed what he can do. So he's one of those. I mean, I knew he was going to score. He's a top player, and he can only do so much. But like I said, you know, managing those 2 early goals were good for me. You know, helped me settle down a bit. It was up and down game. It was entertaining, and that's what everybody wants to see. So I try my best, and it's good to get a win as well.
Well done. It was entertaining for us, I can imagine. It was very nerve-wracking for you guys, but you were through to the semi-final. Go and relax for a bit. Thank you so much, Kyle. Rachel, back to you.
Thank you, Nicole. Yeah, it was great to hear from Peace just there. Really interesting talking about that pressure and actually how he sees it, that Sam deserves to go through, and he almost feels that on his back, Aga, that he's got to be the one that takes the team through after a great start.
Yeah, and he deserves it as well. I mean, it was a good performance, especially the start from him off the game was great. That's the start you want to get when you're defending a lead. And as you also said, it came to a situation where it was a bit awkward for him. Should he try to get some more goals, or should he try to put his foot off the gas? But I think he handled it well, as we saw here with the roulette, and just finding that far post with Cristiano Ronaldo. And that was mainly the difference. Aston Villa had the same sort of chances, but really didn't take them. And I think that's what separated them.
Yeah, well, I mean, Sam scored 3 and Peace also scored 3, Tom. So they were matched in terms of goals scored. Obviously, Peace did actually concede 3 as well to Kyle there on your screen. But, yeah, kind of matching him in terms of what he was able to do.
Yeah, I mean, for someone that said he was feeling quite nervous, it didn't show at all in the interview and in his game style. You know, he still looks comfortable, still had his game plan set, and you can see the goals that he's scoring. You know, beautiful flowing moves, that one extra pass that we spoke a lot about yesterday, and it's really, really paying off. And credit to both of them, because they both scored 3 goals, and they're both through to the semi-finals.
I'm glad as well, because Peace tweeted about the clocks. I'm glad he got that sorted, because otherwise he may have missed his start time today. So well done, Peace, for sorting out the clocks. You are here. You've made it to the semi-finals. And let's talk about that as well, who obviously they knocked out Villa there. I mean, awesome day yesterday, I think they can say, for those boys as well. They must be pretty chuffed of how far they got in terms of the entire process, Aga.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the way they came out of a very tough group yesterday, they'll be happy with that. Obviously, right now, they'll be a bit disappointed because they wanted more than just a quarter-final. But I think looking back for them, it would have been a nice performance overall. But obviously, you want the title.
Well, then, let's hear from some of the Aston Villa players. Nicole, I think you're with Kyle Rowley, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm here with Kyle. Commiserations. How are you feeling right now? Mixed emotions, I guess.
Yeah, you know, first of all, congratulations to Peace and Sam. You know, they deserved it. They've been unbelievable throughout the tournament. So, obviously, disappointed with it. You know, you're not going to be happy losing, but overall, I think they deserved it. So yeah, it's good to actually get this far, and that's what happy, but obviously disappointed at the same time. Yeah.
Are you happy with your performance in that second leg? Because, you had some great chances. We were all over there like, oh.
Yeah, it's a different mindset. 'Cause that's the first time in the whole tournament that I've been behind. Obviously, which is fair play to Oscar, but don't get me wrong, I did lose my head a couple of times. I feel like I had a very good couple of chances, especially when he went 2-0 up, I felt like the pressure was off me. And I think he felt a bit of it. But listen, Peace is here for a reason. Sam's here for a reason. They know how to deal with that kind of the pressure, and I think the third goal that he scored just really threw me over the edge, and I think killed the game. But happy with the performance, don't get me wrong. Throughout the tournament, I think the first game against Stoke, which I said yesterday, played on my mind a bit. But throughout, I think me and Oscar obviously done a good job ourselves.
You guys have done so well, and to get this far, did you think that you would get this far, really?
Nah, no way. Like I say, we spoke on Friday night, and we said, look, if we had a tough group. You know, Watford and Spurs were heavy favourites. So we were saying, you know, okay, we just make sure we're in and around it going into the last game. But look, we made it to the Championship Friday, also Norwich, which nobody even thought. So yeah, it's amazing.
Thank you so much. Look, we've really enjoyed watching you guys, so well done. Kyle, Rachel, back to you.
Oh, lovely interview with Carl there. Thanks, Nicole. Yeah, obviously they have to kind of pat themselves on the back at the performances of yesterday, of course, and getting to Championship Sunday. Well done, though, to Brentford, who we'll see in those semi-finals. Okay, well, who is going to join them? Well, we're about to find out, because let's transition into the next quarter-final. The guys are already ready out here. You might be able to see behind us. We have pod number 3 already getting set up here with Liverpool and Crystal Palace. Nick Sneb there on your screens. He'll be facing up against Tex from Liverpool on the other side of the little setup there. Guys, this is the big quarter-final, isn't it? I know they're all big, but in terms of how we're setting this up, it's Liverpool. Obviously, Tex was a reigning champion back in 2019, and Crystal Palace have been a team to be reckoned with. Consistency-wise, on the global stage, they're right up there, Tom.
Yeah, and I mean, this game is, like you mentioned, it's a very important game, and I think the first leg is going to be very important as well. Both very good attackers, both have that unique style of play, and it's going to be all to play for, especially in this first leg. See how it all unfolds is going to be a very interesting sight.
Nick Sneb and Ethan will probably be going into this one feeling like the underdogs. Aga, can they use that to their advantage?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's two guys who have a lot of confidence and believe in their own abilities, and that's well needed. I think there's a difference between how much respect you gotta give Liverpool. Obviously, they are heavy favourites to win the competition, but they are players that can beat them if they hit their 100% level, and they'll need to put out a performance like that.
Tom, I'm going to come back to you. Nick Sneb, I believe you were spoken to his dad as well to get a few thoughts on how he's feeling ahead of this one.
Yeah, I mean, we had a little conversation beforehand, and, you know, he's feeling all right. He's feeling comfortable. Obviously, you mentioned yesterday he lost, but as the games went on, he sort of grew into it, and he started getting comfortable. So he'll be looking to carry on that form into today's games, as, you know, he goes up against Tex.
Now, one man let's focus our attention on, Tex, and the man behind him, actually, Diogo, just there. I mean, those two teaming up, they've been a brilliant partnership. But I guess for Diogo, he'll be going into this second leg knowing that whatever happens, his partner will have given his all, being one of the best FIFA players in the world, Aga.
Yeah, definitely. He had great results yesterday to work with, and I think it's going to be not as good today because the level obviously is getting higher and higher. I still think Tech's gonna give good results, but as Diogo said yesterday, he wants to prove himself a bit more, perform a bit better, because that's needed. You need both players to play on a high level to win.
Right, well, quarter-final number 2 is coming up very, very shortly. Liverpool taking on Crystal Palace. Hopefully, it won't be any yawning or tiredness, just like Tex was there. There's plenty of FIFA 22 action coming your way. We'll see you after this short break.
When it comes to EA Sports FIFA 22, Ultimate Team is all about building the very best team possible. So today I'll be putting 2 EA Sports FIFA experts to the test. In the red corner is Lisa Manley. In the blue corner, Age Rosenmeyer. Lisa, how are you feeling?
I'm excited. I think I'm going to beat him. I'm going to pick the best team possible. I'm just going to come out there guns blazing, but we'll see.
Okay, how do you feel?
Very excited to try to find my best 5 players.
So do you want to do a little game of rock, paper, scissors to see who goes first?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, Age, you are first. Who is your first pick?
I'm going for Virgil van Dijk.
Why Virgil van Dijk?
Well, basically for me, when I have an attacking 5-a-side, I want him to be controlling the players and make sure that if Lisa's attackers are going for a chance, I have the best to defend it.
All right, Lisa, are you gutted that Virgil van Dijk's been taken already?
I'm happy that he's taken him. I can have another Liverpool player somewhere else.
Who are you going for?
So I'm going to go for Kyle Walker.
Okay, talk me through that choice, because obviously, again, there are a lot of Man City players that you could go for in this 5-a-side team.
He's tall-ish, so he can win some headers, so I think he could stop your attack, especially if he goes for a pacey attack.
When Lisa hears my strikers, maybe she'll regret.
Okay, then, who's your next pick?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Kevin De Bruyne.
Very good pick, but talk us through why you picked him.
He can do basically everything, and that's why he needs to be on my team.
I mean, I could have picked him, but yeah, it's a great choice. He's obviously good, like you said.
Who are you going for, then?
I'm going to go for Paul Pogba.
Talk us through that decision.
He's obviously got great stats going forwards. He can shoot, he can pass, he's got good dribbling.
Pogba was on my radar as well.
Ooh.
So
I
a bit got it there. A bit got it there.
You're having to rethink.
I have to go with Cristiano Ronaldo, CR7. He's pretty complete, and I just need that goal poacher at the top. Then you have the likes of Kevin De Bruyne assisting him, and also my next player.
Lisa, are you going to go for a striker then?
So I'm going to go for Mohamed Salah.
Okay, why are you going for him?
I mean, the Egyptian king, what else can I say, right? But yeah, 90 pace, 90 dribbling, he's good going forward, he's good at dribbling, good at shooting, so I can try and get a couple of goals in.
I'm going to go with my fellow countryman, Kasper Schmeichel.
Okay, was that quite a tough pick for you, goalkeeper-wise, then?
I had some other names up, the likes of Nick Pope, who's actually underrated in my opinion.
Lisa, would you have gone for Schmeichel yourself?
You can take him.
Who are you going for, then?
I'm going to go for Nick Pope.
Did you just steal that from Age?
I didn't, to be honest with you. I was always going to go for him, but he made me want to go for him even more.
So you both have one player left each.
I'm going to go with Son.
I can't believe you've done that as an Arsenal fan.
To be honest with you, I didn't even think about him, but yeah, I'm
No offence, Son, if you're watching.
I'm gutted that I obviously didn't think of him because he'd been a great addition to the team.
So who is your final player, Lisa?
So the player that I'm going to go for is Saint Maximin.
Talk us through why you've gone for him.
He's got good pace, good dribbling. Obviously, he's shooting, not the greatest, but you know, I've got Salah for that. So
it is time for me to pick my winning team. This is tough. I'm gonna have to go for Team Age.
Yay!
How do you feel?
I'm relieved. I think it would have been a very close game if they were to play.
Do you guys agree? What do you reckon? Which is your favourite team? Let us know in the chat and we will see you soon.
Well, hello guys and welcome to the E-Premier League Finals 2022. You're watching Championship Sunday. Of course, at the end of the day, we'll have our finalist crowned and they'll take home £30,000 in prize money as well. We've had one quarter-final played already. Second quarter-final coming your way now between these players on screen. Liverpool taking on Crystal Palace. They will meet Brentford in semi-final number 1. It's all hotting up in the studio here in London. The players look like they're ready. We're ready on the desk. It's time to hand over to our casters to see if they are ready. Lisa Manley and Tyler Goff, over to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, and we'll be looking forward to this game. Of course, Liverpool certainly the favourites when it comes down to winning the title here today. But, of course, pressure is on his opponent now, Tex here, Nick Snebb, 17 years old, and you already said he's one to watch out for.
He definitely is. He's a great player, and he's so young. He's got, obviously, Dan by his side, a good coach. His teammate, Ethan, very good. And I actually wanted to come to you, actually, and ask you, in your opinion, who's got the most pressure? Obviously, we do know that Xbox side need to perform to try and give their teammate a lead, but then if they give their teammate a lead, and then they don't end up performing on their side, and they end up losing, they lose the whole thing. So in your opinion, who's the pressure on mainly?
I still think it's so important to grab that lead early on the Xbox side and just say, well, okay, grab a lead, maybe even make it 2-3 goals in difference. And then it is pretty much to a point where, theoretically, if your teammate isn't feeling it, park the bus, don't let anybody through. And whilst that's difficult in FIFA 22 in comparison to previous versions, it is still manageable here at times. We'll have to see how both players come to the table. I still think that right now, though, of course, yes, for Tex, he's, of course, the big favourite. He, I think, has more pressure in this duel because on the other side, sure, Jacob, he's up against one of the best players from the UK, but he knows he can play FIFA, and at the same time, what does he have to lose?
Yeah, exactly. I think the pressure definitely is on Tex in terms of, obviously, he's won it before. Jacob's 17. Potentially, I'm pretty sure his first E-Prem. Not too sure on that. I'm pretty sure it is, though. And for him, if he goes and wins probably the favourite in this tournament, it's going to be a huge shock to everyone. I think he could potentially win the Xbox side. And obviously, yesterday, Diogo did say that he didn't play to the best that he could, and obviously Tex carried him. But if Jacob does end up beating him, he's going to have to try and come back against Ethan. And we mentioned, obviously, the Xbox side being important and bringing the lead over to the PlayStation side. It's very going to be interesting to find out.
Yeah, so of course, right now, Tex with his lineup as well is supposedly playing a 4-2-2-2. On the other side, a holding 4-4-2 for Jacob. How does that kind of match up against each other?
Yeah, we see a lot of 4-4-2 formations being played, especially this weekend. We've seen a few of them formations. We've seen a 4-1-2-1-2. Just depends on the player and their style. I know Jacob's a very attacking player. He does a lot of skill moves as well. Very good at defending, but a great chance here, potentially for Tex, switching and turning on the edge of the box.
Yeah, already getting his players into a position. De Bruyne to St. Maximin, and at least getting a shot on target. Schmeichel in goal to stop that from going in. And we're getting an injury pop-up. Let's just hope that they can actually walk that off. Otherwise, that'll be a big problem for Palace. And for Nick Snebb, if his Ronaldo has to come up before the game has even gone underway. St. Maximin now going for it, being chased down by Varane, and seem to have more pace on hand for Liverpool. And Tex, not a big problem for him to defend. It's always interesting to see as well, some players not having headphones in, some listening to music, some preferring to hear in-game sound as well. Everybody has their own preference.
Yeah, we saw Sam earlier, obviously, go in with the music. I think for me, when I play, I like to listen to music as well. It gets me in, I guess, the energy, the vibe, as you could say, you know, listening to music makes me concentrate, to be honest with you. Obviously, Tex doesn't seem to have anything in at the moment. Nick Snebb having, I guess, the AirPod in, and then obviously the other one taken out so we can hear his coach.
Yeah, and still getting dangerously in front of goal. St. Maximin is actually blocked off. And Tex can yet again see if he can counter-attack this one quickly, maybe even down the right-hand side. A long run, actually, for Cristiano Ronaldo down the midfield as well, and then being caught in offside. Decent use of the offside traps. We've seen them a bunch, not only just to use to actually put players into offside, but also